ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकं चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। हरे कृष्ण। Actually, one's life is very uncertain. We go through so many difficulties, so many challenges, especially, but in some person's life, there's a 360-degree change. It's not easy to perceive things. It is difficult. So when we begin to think about it, it's a very clear indication that when everything is going on good, when our life is going on as expected, we tend to slacken to take the process to the best of our ability. But when the life is going away from our hands, that means when this body doesn't respond in the way we're supposed to, or the relationship do not aspire the way we aspire for. When things are going in that way, some will take the process very seriously. So a question will come, do we have to wait until that point, or do we have to understand the situations by seeing the futility of this world? It's a point to discuss. Does the sadhaka has to wait until he's going through so many difficulties, or does he accept beforehand? So if he accepts beforehand, then he is protected. When he doesn't accept, then there is no scope of protection. Even though we understand that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead, and when we follow the instructions of the acharyas, whoever follows that, their life is bliss, no doubt about it. Pure devotees are always in happy, ecstatic mood. But what about others? What about others who do not take up the process in that way? The others who do not take up the process, the others who do not take up the process in that way, they should aspire to that state of consciousness. Otherwise, we are we are either sent to difficult conditions. Now a question will always come. So why does the, one second. So, so another situation comes in our life. So the other situation which we always think about is, does the sadhaka is been given difficulties, through the difficulties he learn his life lessons, or through his karmic reactions he gets difficulties? Is he receiving that due to his own actions, or is it part of training? Actually, in the life of pure devotees, it is not received in that way. It is not received in that way. But rather, they are given to those devotees so that the entire world will actually understand who that devotee is, what's his gravity, what's his state of consciousness. Just like Mother Kayadu is requesting Prahlad Maharaj, that why are you doing like this? Why don't you give up glorifying Vishnu? Because your father is doesn't like that. Why don't you stop doing it? She even tells, why don't you do that internally? Why are you doing it in front of your father? Because he is getting agitated. Then it's putting you in trouble. Why don't you just follow his instructions? When Mother Kayadu is telling Prahlad Maharaj this way, then a pure devotee is telling, my dear mother, if my father is giving me trouble, because he's giving me trouble, due to that reason, I have to leave the worship of Lord Vishnu. Should I leave it for that purpose? That means if he doesn't give me trouble, I can just continue what I'm supposed to do. Is that the way how it works? And he continues telling, Mother, you are my mother in this life. But the Lord, Tvameva Mata, Tvameva Pita, Tvameva Saka, Tvameva Bandhujan. The Lord is my father, is my mother, is my friend, is my brother, is my everything. When the master is everything, the master is also thinking about me, just like you are thinking about me. If you are thinking about my well being, don't you think my master will also think, the supreme master, who is the source of everything, doesn't he think about me? Externally, you're seeing these difficulties coming to me. Doesn't he see those difficulties? Doesn't he perceive those difficulties? When my master is pursuing all those difficulties, then doesn't he give me strength to come out of those difficulties? That means at every moment, if the Lord is there to protect and control me, then my dear mother, your your thought process towards me, the Lord will also same thought process towards me. The moment her mother began hearing from Prahlad Maharaj's words, she was pacified. And he says that, my dear mother, I can't give up glorifying the Lord because He is my life and soul. How can I give up that? If He is my master, how can I leave Him? He is my life and soul. So this state of consciousness, actually every living entity has this state. This state is dormant in our consciousness. You all have this state of consciousness in your heart because you all have relationship with him. There's few things here and there that needs to be corrected. If those few things here and there are corrected in our heart and heart, through the process of Shravana and Kirtana, when we hear and chant continuously, what happens is these things will go. Why those things will stay? Those things will go. Then this state which Prahlad Maharaj is telling will be attained to every aspiring sadhaka. Because that is his prayer also. This prayer is what? Let this consciousness, Krishna consciousness, be reached to every living entity. This is prayer. Let this entire world be pacified. Let this entire creation be pacified through this state of consciousness. This is very, very important. Externally, the person might go through something, but Krishna doesn't know that these things are coming to us. Everyone goes through some difficulties, and there is a reason for that. If something, for example, if one person is envious towards us, we should think, we generally say that, oh, why this person is envious towards me? Why is it going like this? Why only me? But if you see from his perspective, he's only envious towards us. He's good with others. That means it's an arrangement that through him, we are learning some beautiful lesson. Please try to understand. It's not like he's he's bad or something like that. No, he is actually teaching us a great lesson. For example, your child is not listening. Through that not listening, he or she is teaching another great lesson to us. Because sometimes children will be envious towards the parents. Because if you do not give them something, then they proclaim that, oh, you don't love me, you don't like me, because you don't give this to me. If you give this to me, then only I understand that you like me. They generally tell these things. It looks a little childish, but it is not childish, dear devotees. That's how this world is designed. If you give something, then you have a relation. If you do not give something, then there is no relation. Because that is what they learned. Everyone is learning. That is what they are learning. But here, if you see, Prahlad Maharaj, he he did not receive anything from his, no doubt, his parents gave him birth. But he's not asking anything from his parents. Please try to understand here. Prahlad Maharaj is not asking anything from his parents. Not asking, give me that, give me this. Because his life and soul is completely different. Because he understands what is really required. Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada also, he did not he did not say, my dear father, give me this, give me that, so many other things. When his father stopped him to go to London to learn barrister, Prahlad Srila Prabhupada did not revolt against it, stating that, oh, I will go. Why are you stopping my education? He did not say anything in those lines. Why? Because those qualities are already there. They're not aspiring for something so much in this. Just imagine those days doing barrister means His life is settled. He'll make great livelihood. His mother was insisting, but his father said no. Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, he accepted. Such a beautiful thing. So this is a difference. In this material world, there's so much going on and so much aspire. A lot of people will aspire for so many things. But here these personalities are not, they're not aspiring for any of these things. Because their life and soul, their thought process, their consciousness is somewhere else. And whoever gets that consciousness, gets that thought process, is he not sheltered? He's totally sheltered. That means if that person is kept in hellish planets also, he happily stays there. Doesn't have any problem. Because in heart and heart, what is he aspiring is this pure state, this pure consciousness. Generally, I was thinking about this. What are the things which trouble us? What are the things which trouble us in this world? If we actually closely observe, the things which are troubling us in this world, they are not on the absolute plane. All the troubles, they're all on the relative plane. That means even the troubles, they are in the external energy of the Lord. But the sad thing is, the Jiva doesn't realize that they are in the external energy of the Lord. As a small thing only. What is relationship problem? It's a small thing actually. But the relationship problem is being shown or showcased in this world as a big thing. For example, if parents do not have children, that's a big thing here in this material world. But if he associates with a pure devotee, he'll tell, Ma, all your last lives you aspired because you had so much trouble with your children. You said, I don't want any children. When Krishna heard that, in this life, he did not give you children. And not just that, you aspired to not to have children, but this life, he gave the association of sadhus, Guru Sadhu Shastra. So through that association, what are they giving is, they're giving you the dormant relationship, which is eternal. In the spiritual world, they're giving that. That means you don't have to worry. You have a family there, full family, full blown family. You don't have to worry. If the Lord is not giving you children, means that means you'll have more time. You can practice Krishna consciousness. Now, he can become your child. That's why he didn't give you a child. Is there no scope? There is scope. Lord becoming the child of the devotee, yes. But for that, you need to accept. There's a thin line, dear devotees. The moment if a sadhaka begins accepting, then what happens is he becomes free from speculation. What is this speculation? This is a demon. What this does is, this actually eats away our consciousness. What is speculation? Eats away our consciousness. You know how speculation works? It works through another anartha which is there in the heart called jealous. What is this jealous doing? Jealous comes through insecurity. It's like Mantra. She had that. Through that insecurity, she agitated Kaikeyi. Through that agitation, entire kingdom was topsy-turvy. Complete Lord Ramchandra was being sent to the forest. How? through this insecurity. And then the source of this insecurity is jealous and speculation. So what are these things doing? They they don't they don't give us that right consciousness, but rather what they do is they pull us away from right consciousness. Now here Prahlad Maharaj also had a choice to become envious towards his father. Did he had a choice? He had a choice. But was he? No. Where is his absorption? His absorption is in Vishnu Smarana, Krishna Smarana. His absorption is there. Now through that absorption, what is happening? Speculation doesn't come. See, before acceptance, one completely stays in the state of speculation. Through that speculation, what happens is he is continuously thinking. Through that thinking, what happens is he feels bewildered. His consciousness becomes bewildered. But on the other side, when he comes to the state of acceptance, and after the acceptance, he becomes absorbed. That is when the smarana kicks in. Through that smarana, what happens is he not only is free from speculation, but rather he will get the taste of Krishna Katha. Through the taste, what is happening is he is becoming free from insecurities of this world. Even though the difficulties are coming, what he does is the Lord will also give him strength to accept those things. This is actually the mercy. But the problem is everything is in the heart only. If you correct the heart, everything is corrected. The only problem is how do I correct the heart? The correction of the heart comes through this, the process of hearing. When one hears attentively, what happens is immediately the moment we know, right, what is jealous, what is envy. The moment when the thought of jealous comes, what is jealous? Being insecure. For example, husband is talking to somebody else, the wife is insecure. My wife becomes jealous. Oh, why is he talking to him? Why is he talking to her? Oh, who is she? From where she came? And why is he calling to her regularly? What is happening? She's not asking, but internally, the heart and heart, what is she doing? She becomes jealous. Through that jealous, what is happening? Speculation. Through that speculation, what is happening? Insecurities, more and more insecurities are built. Oh, what's going to happen if he leaves me? I'm just a householder. What happens to me? That's why they say that, oh, you should also work. You should also stand on your legs. What happens if he dies all of a sudden? Who will take care of you? These are the reasons why woman is also began to work in this world. That's how the school, that's how the parents, that's how they train the children. Now slowly, when they become adult, this is what they cultivate. They say that superficially, they say that, oh, we should all stand on our legs. But internally, this is what is happening. Now, what's going to happen? Who will take care of me? Why? These are all insecurity. Just like Kaikei, Mantra has all those insecurity. Every Jiva has this insecurity feeling. Through that insecurity feeling, what is happening? Speculation. Complete. Through that speculation, what is happening? The consciousness is eaten up, eaten away. Now again, we will we will go to Vrindavan. Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. Now when Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill, all the Brajavasis, this is the only time where Krishna is there with every person. Actually, Krishna is there with always. But physically, Krishna is present with every associate. See, here, this is what happens after acceptance. After complete surrender, after the state of pure devotion, this is what is happening. When Krishna glances to Mother Yashoda, all the elderly gopis, Nanda Maharaj, all the elderly gopas, they're all happy. Why? Because they're seeing Krishna and Krishna is glancing towards Mother Yashoda. And through that glance, every person is happy. Because they're completely secure. They have no insecurities in their heart. They're not jealous that Krishna is watching Mother Yashoda. Or why Krishna is not watching towards me. They're not jealous like that. But what are they? They're also free from insecurities. What are they? They're completely secured. Through that security, what is happening? Their heart and heart, when that security is there in their heart, whose Krishna is also sitting in their heart, Krishna is also there in front of them. That Krishna is giving them more and more happiness. Even though Krishna is not seeing them, but Krishna is seeing them from within, from their consciousness. They're so happy, they're so elated, they're so joyful. Why? Because they do not have any speculation in their life. They do not have any insecurities in there. They're not jealous. And then after some time, when Krishna begins seeing towards Manjaris or the Gopis or Srimati Radharani, then all the other personalities, they're all happy. They're just happy seeing the relation between the Lord and his devotee. All the others are happy. For this, the sadhaka should be completely free from all the inabilities. Just you remember last week we discussed this and then I shared this purport also in the group. What is that? Before one leaves the body, one should be free from all the dualities and also he should be free from the sinful tendencies from within his heart. Then through that state of consciousness, he's elevated to his next level, next destination. But for that to happen, is it easy to happen that? Because there is acceptance state, there is acceptance state, and then after that acceptance, what is happening? There is surrender state, and then after the surrender, there is Anyabhilashta, Shuddha Bhakti. And then through that, they're completely accepting in their heart and heart. Right? But through this pre-state and between the acceptance, there is a lot of struggle. The jiva has been kept in a lot of struggle. So through this struggle, what is happening? Problems. Why? Because he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to do. He doesn't know how to come out of this, the propensity of, of insecurity and speculation. The moment a thought of insecurity is coming in the heart, we should check and then address right away how our acharyas are addressing. Because their life is a pathway for us, is a gateway for us to actually aspire to that state and that consciousness. Because Srila Prabhupada also received so many difficulties, but he never speculated. Just imagine, in the Jaladuta, Srila Prabhupada 1 month has been going in that lot of seasickness. He writes the letter, "Oh, my dear Lord, you have kept me in this state. I know there is a reason why you are sending me. Now you do me what is best for me." What is he doing? This is not a sign of insecurity. But what is it? This is a sign of dependency. Complete dependence. Through the dependency, what is happening? His heart and heart, he's submitting himself to that condition, to that state, to that consciousness. Is that not something sublime and beautiful? Now, when we see a person who is doing that, Lord might give us little difficulties. Through the difficulties, rather than begin speculating, when we begin acceptance, how tattena kampam susamikshamanam bhunjana evatma kritam vibhagam. Brahmaji writes, he says, "Oh, my dear Lord, I deserve this. Actually, I deserve more. But it's your causeless mercy that you are giving me only less." So, what is he doing? He's simply accepting that condition. Now, this acceptance comes through a lot of faith and conviction because the intelligence is always there to bring us into the plane of insecurity, to bring us into the plane of speculation. Only a person who feels that he's karta, He's the source of everything. Only a person when he feels that he's the center, that I am the proprietor, then he becomes speculating. A devotee never speculates in his life. The cause of speculation is obstruction. For example, we have another problem. We might not have a job. It is good for us. Or we have a job. That is also good for us. Both are good for us. How is both good for us? They both are different things. Having a job is good. Makes sense. Not having a job, how is that good? Actually, in a devotee's life, everything which is happening is good for him. Because Krishna is our father. He knows everything. Doesn't he know? He knows everything. Whoever comes to this plane, his aspiration, his goals, his relationship with the Lord intensifies. Just like I'll give another example. Mother Draupadi, she's actually watching every person in the in that arena, in that hall. Nobody was there to help or protect her. Her husband's unable to protect. Bhishmadev, Dronacharya, Dhritarashtra, one, no one is protecting. Then what she said, my dear Lord, if you want me to be naked, let it be. If you want to protect me, please protect. But I am fully surrendering to you. I'm fully submitting to you at this moment, at this junction. Do whatever you want. Hey Krishna, Hey Govinda, Hey Mukunda. Please. This is complete dependence. Krishna actually loves when his devotees comes to the state. Now, on the other side, when sadhaka has everything, do you think he'll depend? He is also chanting Hare Krishna. Do you think that chanting will be through dependency? No, because he has everything in his life. Who will depend if he has some difficulties? So that means, is the difficulty not a good thing? Is it bad? No, that is actually developing a relationship with the Lord. That is good for us. That doesn't mean that there are devotees who pray for difficulties also. Vipada santuda tattva tatra tatra jagat guru bhavata darshanam yashveda punarbhava darshanam. Kunti Maharani, she's praying, oh my dear Lord, please give me difficulties. Because why is she aspiring for those difficulties? Because at every difficulty, she's always submitting herself to the lotus feet of the Lord. That's why she's always dependent. Now, whatever difficulties we have, are they not good? They are good for us. If we understand that, generally, through our speculation, we don't understand that. We keep that aside. We always think that why Lord is giving me. We pray for those difficulties to be removed. We pray for things, for good things to happen. We pray for the things which we do not have. We do not see what we have, but we pray what we not have. Now another question will come, why are we praying for that? Through this state also you can practice. Dear devotees, whatever we have today, with that state, we can practice pure devotion. We don't need something new. If things will manifest, if Krishna wants, he will change. We should give that independence to the Lord. Now we pray, my dear Lord, if you remove these difficulties, I can practice more. That's okay. But it's in the hands of the Lord. Just like we are independent, the Lord is also independent. Just like we have independence to select our own choices. No, obviously through our choices we get another karmic reaction. That is secondary thing. Just like we have our own choices, the Lord is also independent. He has his own choices. It's up to his free will. He can give whenever, whatever he wants, at whatever time he wants. From our side, what we should do is we should have patience. Yes, things are not happening. Let me take this as is, and then take full shelter of the Lord, and then begin chanting my rounds. Whatever we have our prescribed number of rounds, try aspiring to chant them every day without failure. We should all do that. That doesn't matter if you have difficulties, no difficulties, this, that. No. That is actually, we discussed about this few days back also. The sadhaka who is in the Brahmabhuta plane, no matter what happens to him, he's not agitated or he's not impacted because he's realized that he's not that. Neither I'm the difficulty, neither I'm this body, neither I'm something else, neither I'm another thing. The thing which we are, we don't see that. It's an interesting thing. The Lord keeps us in a state which we are not actually. That is why he's telling you come to me. Because it doesn't belongs to you. This doesn't belongs to us. Now this we need to understand more. The thing which we are meditating, we are not that actually. What do we meditate on? This, that, so many other things of this world. Technically, we are not that. A lot of people plan to go here, there, so many other places, visiting. What do we get by visiting those places? Nothing. Do not get anything. Very, very important. Life is like this. Life is always like this. Life will always be like this. We practice or not practice, we will get difficulties. We will get happiness, we will get distress. We'll be sad, we'll be morose, we'll be happy. Sometimes we'll be this, sometimes we'll be that. This life, once this body is no longer useful, we will leave and then we'll get another body and then we'll practice or we'll continue doing another activities in another life. This life, one husband, next life, another husband. We continue. The life goes on like this continuously. At some point, there a break has to be kept. When we watch this world, you see some inebrities. Now I'll tell something and then I'll conclude. There's a person, she got connected to the process, I think about 15 years back. But never took that process to the heart. Actually, I'm feeling so sad. Now she's like 41, 42. Now she has cancer. And we don't know what's her situation. She's in ICU. Very difficult state. The cancer has been spread all through the body. Nobody knows that she has cancer until 2 weeks back. That is the last stage. I was just thinking about this. When we connect to the process, we don't take it seriously. We don't understand the gravity of this process. when the difficulties come in one's life and we are about to leave the body, at that moment also we cannot practice. Because when our body was good, we never practiced it. In the way our Acharya said, because that kind of association was not there. On one side, process is there, other side, material desires are there. And then now, with the fact under the life, what can be done? Now, who would have thought that a lady has having 3 children, very small children, 10 years, 8 years, 4 years. Who thought that she will get that kind of a thing? That means then we have this, right? On the other hand, when our health is good, we don't think about this Krishna consciousness, but rather we think about how do I make money? How do I do that? How do I get this? How do I get that? How do I improve my bank balance? So sad. When health is correct, we aspire for this. When the health is not right, we aspire for something else. When do we take up Krishna consciousness? This is the question I've been thinking. Is this not important? We are doing this. We don't know what's going to happen to us tomorrow. We don't know where we will head to. We have no idea. We're just going through. We're just going through the wind. When we are in that state, how can we take up this process? This is an interesting question. I always think about this. And then again, after a few days, when things will move on in our way. For example, let's say the difficulty is gone. And then after that, we begin leading a normal life. Then what do? We do something else other than Krishna consciousness. How much cheating this world is. But on the other side, we see acharyas. They know the magnanimity of the world. But they're fully fixed up in the process to the deep and core of the heart. That's why we aspire for their association life after life. This is the state. Because we don't know what they are giving. The moment we realize that this body will no longer be useful for us. What is the use of realizing at that point of time? Think about this. Think about how seriously we can practice Krishna consciousness. Very, very important. Hare Krishna. I think I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions? Would like to add anything? Any comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Pranam Outdoors to Shri Prabhupada Guruji.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much for your wonderful, Krishna Katha Prabhuji today. I mean, you rightly said, when everything is going fine, we hardly, we do our process, chant 16 rounds, but, even though I do it in the morning, but I don't have that much of determination and, going after, making more. But as you mentioned, Prabhuji, we need to be more focused and dedicate as much as possible when we have, as Kulshekhar Arwal, you mentioned earlier also. At the time of death, it is very difficult. We have to do it now itself. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru. It's so important because the time is going away from our hands. It is moving away. So be very, very vigilant. We are understanding, we are learning the truth more and more. the more we aspire to follow to the core of the heart, the better for us. Otherwise, we don't know when life will take different turn in our life. Know that Mataji, she can't even raise, she can't speak. She's totally bedridden. She can just wave her left hand. She's just 41. No one and nobody was expecting that this will happen to her. If she would have practiced Krishna consciousness seriously, at least for a few years, it would have been great shelter and protection. Now also there is shelter and protection, but the time has gone. That's what I always think. If our time is going away, seeing YouTube videos, this, that, so many other things, and then not using our energy as Krishna's energy, then where do we go? Remember my spiritual master telling, it's a very grave instruction. It tells, if you do not work for Krishna, you'll work for Maya. If you do not spend the energy in the service of the Lord, then you have to spend the energy in the hospitals. Because as a naked truth, actually, it's not a curse, but it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call to every jiva. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Jiva jago, Gaura Chandra bole. Wake up, sleeping souls, wake up. We should wake up. We shouldn't see if the other person is surrendered or not. We should surrender. We should come to that state. Because when you come to that state, the process becomes very beautiful. We should aspire for that state. Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharma Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada, how are you, Prabhuji?
Very good, Amma. Thank you for asking.
Prabhuji, so thank you for giving the wonderful classes every day. So Prabhuji, just as you mentioned about the Mataji's case, that who knows that what will happen to us. Anytime anything can happen. And so that time, the faith, how much faith we have to Krishna, to the Guru and Sadhu and Shastra, that's the test, Prabhuji, I feel. Like his, because that time, with her family members, herself, like there is the question, like always, it's a common questions like why me? So, and as a devotee, we know that that is already destined. What karma we have, accordingly we'll get the body, and accordingly we'll get diseases, everything. So, but on that time, it's hard. It's hard to focus when we have a bad time comes. But as a devotee, as a practitioner, as you said, like devotee is very high level. So as a practitioner, we should be like very steady in bhakti, and keep our faith on the situation that everything happens, and that's Krishna is there. He has some better plan, and that way we can deal that situation, Prabhuji. To constant steadiness and a constant practice is very important, Prabhuji, for any circumstances. And when those things happens, it's really hard for the family. Like other people can say, okay, do chant, but the family who are suffering and going through this difficult situation, for them it's really, really hard. So
Very hard, actually.
yes, so
It's
very,
a test on the faith, actually.
yeah,
If the heart is not fully convinced, then you know, mind how deep trouble it will give at that time. It will tell, you see, you've been practicing all these days. You see, is Krishna saving you? Is helping you? He's not helping you or he's saving you. The mind will reiterate. The mind will do retrogression. The mind will show enmity towards the Lord. That's the nature of the mind. Because what is happening is a trouble to our body. Because we don't accept that. There's so many things will happen internally. There's a lot which we need to work on. A lot of people will say, oh, I know Krishna consciousness. What we know? Do you know how envy works? Do you know how jealous would work? Do you know lust, greed, anger, envy, how they would work? It's very difficult. Nobody can perceive. It's all happening internally. The mind will do retrogression. You see, nobody is helping you. What devotees? They're not helping you. You see, they're not praying for you. You see, this is what it will tell. That's why we should have full focus. That's why when our body, life, and soul, when they are good, we should learn this truth thoroughly. When we learn this truth thoroughly, then what happens? Then at the time of death, we completely submit ourselves. That's why to submit at the time of death is not easy. Actually, now we need to submit. When we submit ourselves now, then at the time of death, the Lord, out of His causeless mercy, will take us. Because by the mercy of the Acharyas, that is what Acharyas are telling. Srila Prabhupada is telling, submit now. If you submit now, at the time of death, it will become easy for you. If we don't submit now, then how can we submit all of a sudden? Cannot submit. Because internally, the heart is troubled, is bewildered, insecure, envy, jealous, so many other things, unwanted things, they all come. Especially on top of this, more important thing is this body is being losing. We're losing this body. That means all life we thought that we are this body, but now this body has been taken away. Is it easy to digest that? The person, there might be so many people around us, they might be chanting for us, but that person who's actually going through the difficulty, he knows how difficult it is. That the person who received the cancer, they know how difficult it is, not the other person. Oh, I don't know what she's going through. We don't know what she's going through, but she goes through that. Now, who has to train her? Who has to train her consciousness at that moment? What she should think? This is so important. Very, very important. That's why dear devotees, when our body, life, soul, when they are good, please aspire. Not having job, not having husband, husband is not good, wife is not good, this is not good, that is not. They are not at all problems. The real problem is death. We have to fight for that problem. We have to strive to come out of that problem. That is the real problem. No, I do not have H1. That is not a problem only. There's so many people living who doesn't have H1. Aren't they living? So many people are living who doesn't have husband. Aren't they living? There's so many people who are living who doesn't have a nice wife. Aren't they living? Are living because that's not a problem actually. You do not have children. That is not a problem. Your husband health is not good. That is not a problem. What is the real problem? This is the real problem. Not having love towards the Lord, not having love towards the acharyas. That is the real problem. This problem we need to combat. We will discuss more on this tomorrow. It's very important. Hare Krishna.